What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Twisted Life of TV. I am Poetry. You are here for another recap and review of The Handmaid's Tale. This is season 5, episode 3, Border. I want to give a thanks to everybody who participated in the poll last week. Anna LA had posted in the comment section about the fact that she didn't believe that Janine could possibly have passed away. Janine being the cat that she is with all the lives that she had. Maybe Janine survived. And then after I thought about it some more and the way that it all played out on TV, I was like, you might be right. There is a possibility that Janine ain't dead. They didn't really show us her final ending. They showed what it seemed like Eden being gone. But then I was like, well, maybe she ain't gone either. Because they really didn't give us time to grieve for them. So, yeah. And you guys voted. You all said it was 76% that Janine was still alive. I didn't put the poll on Eden. I meant to as well. But y'all said Janine is still alive. And this episode, we saw Janine still alive. Okay, so it's late in the day. June's at home now after the ballet. A beautiful performance. And I did find out that the name of the ballet was called Sargasm. I went back and watched the end of that clip. I did not find an actual ballet with that name, but I did find out that sargassum is an actual type of algae, like a brown, stinky, rotted seaweed. If y'all ever been to the Caribbean, y'all seen it floating up some doggone where. It usually floats in the masses in shallow water, and it's a type of seaweed that never attaches itself to the seafloor. So it's basically a habitat for marine species, but they mainly eat off of it as food. I don't know if the choice of the name Sargasm has anything to do with the show at all, but you know, me in my mind, I was like, yes, Sargasm is basically June. She's big and bad, seemingly, you know. She's reeking of anger. So she gathers people around in masses. People cling to her and enjoy being around her. And it's usually other people who are seemingly weaker, but she herself is just another piece of food for bigger fish. That's what she basically is. She's just another piece of big fish to feed off of. Serena at this moment being the bigger fish. So she's sitting there, right, and she is like in a state of shock. Like I said, they had a beautiful performance at the ballet that she enjoyed, but after the ballet was another performance that played out on the TV screen in the form of a funeral, which I thought was beautiful myself. I appreciate all you people who would left comments for me saying that the way that I described it was amazing. Y'all, I was just talking. I appreciate it though. Everyone saw it, including Moira. And Moira said she's been on hold with the refugee hotline to no avail. I'm not sure what benefit the refugee hotline would have been or why she would have been calling them, but okay. But June is sitting there staring at Hannah's picture, and I'm wondering where you get a picture of Hannah at this age. Where y'all get that picture from? But Moira is wondering why the heck Tuello is in Gilead with Serena. I don't know how she saw Tuello. Tuello did not make the march with Serena Joy. When she first came out of the building, out of the church, Tuello was standing off to the side. That's where he was. He didn't march with her. So I was wondering why Moira knew that Tuello was with him. Yeah. I had a lot of issues with this episode. I did not like the ending at all. It didn't make logical sense for me at all. June was humbled maybe less than 24 hours. I didn't like that at all. The introduction of Mayday, a lot of stuff just didn't make sense to me. What else I was going to look up? I should look up something else. Hold on. Okay. My other issue was the sat phone. I'll get to that later. All right, so what I was going next. Okay, so we had some other theories about Nick and Joseph, why they would encourage the funeral, so June could see it and encourage her to keep fighting to get Hannah. I didn't believe that theory at all, because Joseph and Nick, their main two reasons were that they were trying to, what I was going to say, Joseph and Nick are the main two reasons that she doesn't have Hannah, put it that way. I'm still on, they were trying to gain Serena Joy's trust. At this point, I didn't know why. I thought June was. I was on Miss Honey's channel, and she had asked the question, "Why is June continuously asking for punishment?" And I thought that she wanted to be a martyr. And without it, it made her deed of killing Fred seem insignificant. That she wants that praise, she wants that recognition. At first, I thought she was covering for the other ladies when she went to the police station and said, "No, I'm the only one that did it. I did it by myself." And then I was like, "No, she just wants that recognition. She wants to be the one that's held up in high esteem." She said it repeatedly. Like, they didn't even ask her who helped her or who whatever. She could say, "I did it. I did it all by my own," you know. And when Tuella had responded and Luke had responded to her, basically, "Job well done," she was like so happy, so like, "Oh God, you appreciate it, right?" But when she saw that funeral broadcasted, you know, like Fred was a royal, like Serena was somebody to be upheld, it knocked the wind out of her sails. So in that moment, Serena Joy was a star. Like I said, she got the recognition that June been craving so much by killing Fred. Well, anyway, just like I said, June was sitting there asking what color was Hannah wearing. What did that mean? And I was thinking it was funeral clothes because I didn't even notice the purple underneath the coat. But when Moira said that it was like a plum color, not pink, I swallowed my gum that I wasn't even chewing. Okay, baby girl has flowered is pretty much what it's saying. The pink signifies that she's a young girl, a child, and the purple signifies that she's starting to have her period. She's able to get married now. But because remember Rose, the little girl that June had met in the hospital, she was still wearing pink at first, but she was there to see if she could have a baby, right? And they said that she was going to marry her off in a few years because she wasn't exactly 12-year-old yet. At the age of 12 is when the daughters wear the purple dresses, and we all know what that means, right? So Joan is like, Nick was there. I need to go talk to him. But they didn't want to go through Tuella's office. Moira said she knew a group of women that was at the border who had been successful in getting messages in and out of Gilead. And June come up like, "What? When were you going to tell me this?" She was like, all in her face, all aggressive stuff. She's like, "I wasn't going to tell you." Why would she tell you? Okay, you've been doing fine on your own, you know, all by yourself. Talking to who you need to talk to on the inside. Why do you need these women? Why do you need Moira to tell you any damn thing? But why the fuck did Moira bring it up? Okay, Moira said that these are suicide traumatized refugees. I was like, and that's the exact type of women that she don't want June to be around. And she's telling her, "You don't get to decide it. You don't get to decide who I want to be around." She actually does. She didn't have to tell you shit. Okay? She does not. She's not obligated to tell you anything. She's not obligated to tell you these women at the border. She's not obligated for anything. And for what Moira was saying, that's all she's doing is getting messages back and forth. What exactly is the message that you're trying to get to Nick? He already told you he ain't finna help you get Hannah. He already told you that, okay? I wouldn't have helped her if I was Moira. I wouldn't have gave her information. Like, find it on your own. You know they exist, you go find them. That's how I would have did it. You already lost your girlfriend. You already lost your support group for being there for June. Let her handle this on her own. That's what I would be feeling at this point. But I'm biased right now. So June and Moira, she go ahead and said she's gonna take her out there. She agreed. Said she's gonna set up the meeting, and they drive out to meet the Connect at Hoggy's Barbecue. Hoggy's Barbecue is a real place, right? It's in Port Perry, Ontario, Canada, right? It's probably about an hour, maybe 45 minutes to an hour from Toronto. It is not near any border. Not near any border. It's a little bit northeast of Toronto, up into Canada, right? Yeah, it's not in any borders close to the United States at all. If I remember correctly. No, it's not. It's not close to no damn border. Anyway, Gilead, Canada has not been taken over by Gilead at all. And I realized once I typed this, well, now, once I'm reading this back, I realized that I said Gilead has not taken over Canada at all. That is really going to be significant in this episode. Okay, the woman, Lily, in this particular role, makes no sense for me. They just killed Fred. A few days ago, maybe a week tops, okay? They just did the prison exchange on the day that Fred was killed. So maybe, like I said, a week tops has passed. And this woman was one of the women in that exchange for Fred. And she already set up in Canada at the border. going back and forth to Gilead or passing messages back and forth to Gilead. It didn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense that she was already so deeply involved, because at this point she should still be going through processing. You know how long it took them to process June when she became free? She should be still going through processing. She was just taken from the colonies, and now she's set up at the border with the rest of the crew. It didn't make sense for me. Okay, but she said that she had already established a network on the Gilead side before the ICE had busted her and thrown her to the colonies. She wasn't in Boston, but she has some connections in Boston, but their main ones are in Jezebel's, which they don't believe Nick frequents, because Nick got to be set up to be polished and pure, and he don't do no wrong and shit. But anyway, she got other ways to get to him. They're gonna use a sat phone. It's gonna take them a while to connect. If anybody understands sat phones, you basically need clear skies for sat phones to connect directly. It has to be an unobstructed connection because it's from a satellite. Yes, satellites can connect to landline phones and things like that, but the way that they was making it seem like we gotta link these calls, like it's like a I'm gonna call this person, they're gonna connect to that person, they're gonna connect to that person, connect to that person. It's not, it don't happen that way. With a sat phone, that's all you need is a phone number. So maybe her connections, her links was just trying to obtain Nick's phone number. Maybe that's what it was, because they dial straight through when they talk to Nick in the end. They don't need no grapevine in order to reach Nick, only to obtain his information. And that probably shouldn't have been as hard as she said. It shouldn't have probably took that many hours to do. But anyway, back in Gilead, Tuello is visiting Serena in her suite, and she asks him, is he going to be in trouble with his government because she's throwing that big lavish funeral? And he said, no, you can do what you want to do. All we were supposed to do is get you here to put on the funeral that you wanted to do. And she said, well, are you spying then? Okay. And Serena's not stupid. She knows one or the other. But yeah, no, he said he ain't spying either. So she said, you know what, you can go though, because I don't need folks thinking I'm cozying up to you. This scene is setting it up for her to cozy up to Tuello. That's what it's setting up for me. She shouldn't use her feminine wiles in this particular season to get through Tuello. We see her try to do it already once through Commander Joseph with epic fail. Anyway, inside the camps, where June and Moira is at with the Mayday people. Well, she learns that they are the Mayday people. Like I said, they send in messages, but they also helping people get out. They had a wall of photos of people that they had helped already. They couldn't help get out their own though. That's what June, she's the one that basically bargained for them to get out. They helping people escape out of Gilead. They got a network of people in Gilead, but when their own people get captured, they couldn't do nothing for them. Maybe I'm just biased. I think I might just be biased this episode because I really wasn't into it. Anyway, Lily tells her, don't be too impressed by that, because we have another wall with a whole lot of people we couldn't save. And it was like twice as many photos as the one of the people they did save. But Lily, when she took her there, she was so impressed by June and giving her the praise that she needs, and June's feeling all reinvigorated. No, like I said, she needs and deserves the recognition. Like even when Lily brought her back to the camp, she introduced her as the one who did the angel flight, and they like, oh, this is June, you know what I'm saying? And Moira is looking like, oh, they love you here. Okay, something like that, you know. It was almost a jealous look that Moira gave her in a minute. But anywho, Lily says, you know what? They know the stake. Anybody working with Mayday knows the stakes, whether they can get out or not. So I was like, Mayday, they really exist, okay? Because over the years, we have been led to believe so many different things. We believe that Mayday was taken down. We believe that Mayday was just a theory in our heads, not real bodies, or Mayday never really existed. Now we come to find out they do exist all over, with small outposts all over the place, right? So she says that most of the people are still inside, and they Marthas. We know the Martha Network. The Martha Network claimed that they weren't Mayday. They were working with Mayday, but still. Anyway, the Martha Network had connects. Y'all know this. They got weapons, they got explosives, they got all kind of stuff that starts some trouble if they needed to. But if they get caught, Mayday are the ones who's supposed to try to get them out. That's why I'm not understanding why Mayday existed like this in such great quantity, and you got 22 women caught up. That's weird. Because she said they wasn't in Boston. But they did the exchange. Was the exchange in Philadelphia? Y'all help me out here. Lily said they wasn't in Boston. She just had connects in Boston. But Commander Joseph and Nick were the two who did the exchange. Commander Joseph Lawrence, he was the one who brought the idea to June about the exchange of women. So these women had to be in Boston. I think too much. I'm sorry. I think too much. Anyway, y'all should have been helped by Mayday to get out. Okay. But June felt a sense of relief knowing that Mayday really doesn't exist. Okay. Because she thought it was all in her mind. She thought she was going crazy. Tuello, he takes Serena over to Commander Joseph's house for some after funeral function. It's the next day though, so I thought, why is she still there? Why they went back? The funeral was over. The funeral was done. But Tuello again, he not allowed to come in. Like, you supposed to be attached to her hip, but you get stopped every chance you can. Why you can't come in? Okay. There is the McKenzies. These are Hannah's people. I couldn't remember their name. I kept saying something with a W last time. The McKenzies are the one that had Hannah's. And Serena's like, yes, I was thankful I was able to give a good send-off for Fred, one that he well deserved. And Mackenzie like, well, he deserved a trial too. Okay. But them damn Americans, they took that from us. Serena is shocked that they knew that June participated in it, and even more shocked, I think, that Joseph led them to believe it was all the Americans doing. So now this is confusing Serena a little bit. Nick comes over next with Rose. Why is he there? Apparently he was invited, but why? Then Mackenzie's invited him? It doesn't make sense to me. I was confused. Why are all these people there for Serena Joy? Why are they having this dinner for Serena Joy? They're not even friends with her. Okay, apparently Rose, Nick's wife, knows the Mackenzies already, and her and Nick met a few months ago in DC. Here they are married today. They've been blessed, he said. Won't they do it? Okay, now I'm confused about Rose. Where the fuck she come from? Okay, they have a conversation at dinner about it, and like, where did she come from? She met Nick up in DC at a gala, 3 galas apparently, just a few months ago. A few normally is 3 or 4, and I'm like, this don't make sense to me. She looked too fucking old to be a commander's daughter to get married to Nick, and she wouldn't be up there gallivanting on her own. Okay, she wasn't a former wife. Well, comes to find out she is a commander's daughter. And at first I was like, is she the Rose that was at the hospital with June? She's not that Rose, because she's too fucking old to be that Rose, because that was just a few years ago. June was still pregnant at that time. Yeah, I don't believe that she's that Rose, but they never did say who her commander was. They left her commander unnamed. Nah, she too old to be that Rose. Anyway, here we go. Aunt Lydia. This Aunt Lydia scenes were the best parts of this episode for me. I got a few minutes. I'm gonna be late for work. Okay, it was the best parts of this episode for me. She walking down the long mile, down the hospital room. You can hear the beep, 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 beep. The heart rate monitor echoing down the white hallways because it was bouncing off the white walls, right? She peeps through the little porthole on the door, fearful. She's short of breath. It looks like a tear want to fall, but she inhales and walks into the room, sauntering basically. You could notice her limp as she walks into this room. That's how slow she's walking. Who's in the bed? Not Janine. It was Esther, baby. Esther in a full out coma. She's alive too. I was like, okay, so where's Janine? That's my first thought. I don't mean to discount Esther, because I know I didn't like Esther much, but still, where's Janine? I learned to like Esther, but I didn't like her initially. But anyway, the way Aunt Lydia looked at her, I was surprised she didn't pull the plug on that little girl herself. I am so surprised. Aunt Lydia has this sick way about herself, but it seems that she actually cares for Janine, right? I think she may actually care for her to a certain extent, at least. She loves Janine. in this fucked up society, in this fucked up world, she somehow has a love for Janine. So the way she was looking at Esther, like, baby, I would take you out any moment for taking out Janine, for hurting my Janine. That's how she was looking. She hauled off into last week and came back and slapped the shit out of her. Slapped her non-responsive face. Her head just turned. Nothing. No emotion. This girl is she is in a coma. She's in a coma, right? And the way that Aunt Lydia kept looking at her like, I just knew Janine must be dead. Because Aunt Lydia is hurt, baby. She is hurt. I can't believe she has these emotions of Esther. The emotion that I'm seeing for Esther is not of care or concern. It's of pain and anguish, and I'm pissed off at you. Yeah, she caring about Janine. And then again, it was like, some of this anger is at her own self too, because of all the bad shit that she has done, you know. All the handmaids that had the fucked up shit happen under Aunt Lydia's tutelage. So yeah, she was feeling some kind of way. She can't get the proper bunch she in to save her life, right? It's always one bad apple or two bad apples or three. You know, she shed a few tears, gathered herself between her little ragged breaths, and headed down the hallway. Janine is alive, y'all. She's alive. So, just like y'all predicted. I don't know what number life Janine is on now, but baby, this girl is not that easy. She does not go into the good night easy. She really don't. She slowly makes her way up to Janine's bedside, baby, and falls to her knees, okay? Dear God, she does not deserve this. You know she does not deserve this. Baby, and Dowd bodied this scene, okay? She had the quiver in her voice. You know, her speech was stuttering. The tears was falling from her eyes, baptizing her cheeks and stuff like that. She had snot rolling in her nostrils. She was angry with God, honey. She was angry. And for once, she blamed herself, saying, I know you ain't happy with me, Lord. I know I've got out of pocket every now and again. I know I make choices. I was trying to keep my girls safe. Okay? Surely you understand. Surely you understand. Please don't punish her. Please don't punish her just to teach me a lesson. I will turn things around. I will. I can turn things around. I will do things differently. I would do things differently. I promise you. Please. Baby, I was like, you go ahead on, girl. She kissed Janine's hand, watched her peacefully. Baby, she was pushing those words through pain, through tears. I got teary-eyed. I held my chest because it was getting a little heavy with sorrow, okay? I almost wanted to hug her. You know, I don't want to feel for my oppressor. I don't want to feel for her. But I was feeling for Ali in this moment, child. And I was like, is this the pivotal moment? If you guys have read the Testament without giving any spoilers, this may have been the pivotal moment for her that set her on the road to the role she played in the Testament book. Okay. You ever have some stuff go real sour in your life? Maybe a near-death experience, maybe a unwanted pregnancy, some shit like that. A loved one may be hurt. Shit goes so bad, so sour that you don't think you're going to ever be able to get through it. You start making all these promises to the Lord, whether you believe in God or not. Sometimes you still make promises to the universe, whoever. I know I have. And I know I have not always kept these promises either. But let's see what Aunt Lydia is going to do, okay? Because with Janine, she feels responsible. You know, she slapped Esther like, you stupid little girl. But for Janine, it's anguish, it's disgust, it's pain and hurt, and accountability is starting to well up in her, right? So we have this awkward dinner with the Mackenzies, because it was just weird as hell to me. The blame Serena and Commander Joseph. We having a dinner with the Mackenzies. It just don't make sense. But Joseph is going on and on about exporting people exporting things into Europe now. They try to expand into Europe. And Mackenzie's like, bro, you born ladies, come on now, right? So Mackenzie's wife say, well, you know, when you remarry, you have a wife that you can steer your conversation, because men don't know how to do that for real, right? When she said that, I said, oh, they about to set up Serena Joy so she can marry Joseph? That's not what they finna do, are they? Lord, I hope that ain't what they finna do. So Joseph said, no, I ain't got no plans to remarry. And Mackenzie said, yeah, we're going to talk about that later, because a single man in a leadership position has no place in Gilead. Okay, most of these commanders have wives that they chose themselves, but newbies like Nick had arranged marriages. They married eco daughters, but Nick was able to find Rose the second time around. And being that he's a higher ranking commander, he gets to marry a daughter. Okay, the low ranking commanders marry eco wives. The high ranking commanders, they marry the daughters of the commanders, right? So yeah, I was like, where the fuck Rose come from? Anyway, let's discuss why we really came. Mackenzie says that June is a Cancer. We need to cut her ass out, right? He was very lenient with all the other shit that she did with Hannah Banana, who they call Agnes. And they didn't want her to grieve the death of her birth mother. But she at the stage now, she old enough to understand she gonna get over it. She's strong, okay? And since they truly believe that the Americans are the ones who helped June get to Fred, there's no doubt that they can help her get to our family, is what Mackenzie is saying. So we ain't playing nice no more, okay? Nick and Rose are sitting over there side-eyeing each other and like, oh, fuck. Damn. Okay, it ain't gonna stop. I was like, Nick, Commander Joseph, neither one of y'all thought that there was gonna be some type of fallout because of Killer Fred? Y'all didn't think there was gonna be no type of fallout? Even though that they believe that the Americans are the ones that did it, y'all didn't think that was gonna turn the tides in Gilead? Okay, Serena is agreeing that they need to get to June, but she don't say nothing. Just her eyes agrees. Okay, back at the camp, June and Moira, they helping out, and commotion stirs up outside. Right, you can hear people screaming, "Put your gun down! Put your gun down!" And the man screaming, "No, you put your gun down!" And he's supposed to be an ally, right? The problem is no men are supposed to be there. No men are supposed to be allowed there. But the one who was ain't the one who showed up. There's some brother named Mike that's there. He can't remember the secret password or the secret code. They always using poems for the password and quotes and stuff like that. Things get hella tense, and some little young girl named Rachel runs out of the woods screaming at what the code was. And then Mike was a friend. So everybody's relieved. They put their guns down. He turns to go back, okay? June is like, you going back in? He said, of course I'm going back in. I got a wife, I got a child there. I can't leave them behind. Unlike you. You know, that was subliminally said. Unlike you. And he ain't say it, but that's what June heard. And that's what I heard too. Maybe because I said it, that's what you heard. Anyway, after this dinner, Nick goes to talk to Twillo. He said, I would like to be the one to tell June about my wife. And I was like, this is what gets me about Nick. You can somehow have a conversation with June, but seeing Jelly Bean as a pipe dream to you, this don't make sense to me. But like I said, Nick could probably see that kid anytime he wanted to, if he wanted to. I thought he was going to tell Twillo to tell him of what happened in there. Warn June about what's going to happen, because they coming for you, right? But that ain't what he did. All he wanted to do was say, let her find out about Rose from me. But Twillo want to know, you spying for us or not, okay? And he's like, nah, I ain't going to do that right now. So Mackenzie walks right up. Like, what y'all talking about? I mean, we just sat there and said that the Americans helped set up Fred, and you stand out here talking to one of the people who was involved. Why y'all out here getting buddy, right? Why you leaving your wife standing over there by herself in the cold? So Mackenzie said, you know what? I think Mackenzie's finna start playing a more active role this season, because they need a new leader for real, okay? Putnam really ain't it to me. But that's when he brings up that Rose is a commander's daughter. And I was like, oh, how about them apples? So he tell Nick, look here, I'm sure that the fact that her daddy is a big-time commander, that's why you chose to be with her. Because I know you're not, but I know you're not going to use her to catapult you into a higher rank, or are you? And Nick was like, no, that's not what I'm doing, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I got my eye on you, son. I got my eye on you. And when he said that, I was like, okay, I think he might be right. Mackenzie might be onto something. Well, speaking of son, Serena, Joseph, they speak towards how weak of a man Fred was, and how he can't be a strong enough man to have raised her son. So it's probably a good thing that he is dead, right? And Commander Joseph said, well, better luck next time. And she said, well, now that you mention it, they talking alone, right? Now that you mention it, you didn't need a wife. And he said, marrying for power does not work out well. She said, well, it depends on the marriage, okay? So she trying to butter him up and let him feel the baby kick, and he like, oh my God, he all happy. I love babies, y'all know me. I see a baby, I cry. So I understand this moment right here, how that can just make you feel with joy, just to feel a baby move, right? And he tell her, look here, we're gonna protect you and that child, Serena Joy. We're gonna protect you. He is so confusing to me. After all these seasons, I still can't figure this man out, okay? It's like he believes in the system, but at the same time wants to be rebellious, so he helps escapees from time to time and go against the grain. Make up your mind what you want to do, Commander Joseph, okay? At the hospital, Aunt Lydia is still sitting by Janine's bedside, just rocking. Just rocking. Naomi walks in with baby Charlotte against her will, apparently. Aunt Lydia must have laid down the guilt real thick. She says, look here, Naomi, regardless of how you feel, let us not forget when the baby was sick in a bad way, it was because Janine came to her side that helped her recover. So the least you could do is let that baby come to her side and do the same damn thing. Aunt Lydia said only the love of a child can do this. Only the love of a child can give her strength, because the doctors don't believe that she got much hope. Okay? And Naomi says, you know what, I am sorry. She was a blessing. Is a blessing, because she gonna recover. That's what Aunt Lydia said. And just knowing Janine, she gonna recover. So Naomi brings Charlotte over to her bedside, and she's telling her daughter, telling her that your daughter gonna always know who you are. Okay, she gonna always know where her smile comes from. And while she talking to her, Charlotte is running her hands across her mother's IV. Aunt Lydia got me in my feels again. She over there standing with puddles of tears in her eyes and everything. You can see Hope's reflection staring back at us in her eyes. And after the dinner, we go back there, and Tuello, she tells Tuello, I am not going back. He said, you found a free woman, and this is what you want to do? I was like, when did she become free? When did Serena Joy become a free woman? That's a part that y'all not supposed to gloss over. She get to stay behind because she say so. She tell y'all that she ain't going nowhere, and you said, okay, fine. And you only mad because you realize she really want to stay there? That she probably is the person that Fred said she was all along. She probably is the person that June said she was all along. She's not playing victim, the victim that y'all trying to create her to be. And so he's like, fine, bye, stay, you can go. So he leaves. He leaves, y'all. I'm outdone. It don't make no sense to me. Okay, June finally gets to talk to Nick. They finally get the connection. It's like 9:30 now, and he lets her know that Hannah is safe. She's like, is she with Serena? He just said she was safe. Why would she be with Serena? But anyway, they talk about the new color that she wearing. He's like, that means she's ready to be a wife. They're gonna send her off to wife school, where the high command daughters are trained. Don't worry though, she's strong. She's just like you. She's strong. She gonna get through it. And then she tell him, don't pack up and move to her district so you can watch over her. Nick said, no, I can't do that. I got a wife now. When he said that, nothing else about Hannah mattered. There was no further conversation about Hannah. It was like, who's your wife? What's her name? She know about you. Why they always play this somber music when these two talk? Oh, it irritates me. Okay, so, yeah, she knew about you. I told her about you. Her name is Rose. I think you might like her. This, that, and the other. Whatever. So, he did at least ask about Jelly Bean, how she doing, and then told June, you need to keep her safe. You need to stay safe because the Mackenzies is a powerful man, and I ain't gonna be able to talk to you for a while. They watching me is pretty much what he's saying. Aunt Lydia wakes in the hospital room to see an empty bed, y'all. Janine is nowhere around. Janine is up and about out in the garden, taking in the fresh air. She did not look happy to see Aunt Lydia. Not at all. She did not look happy. Back in Gilead, hey, it might have been she wasn't happy to be still alive. I'm still here. That might have been what that look was for. Well, Serena Joy is waiting outside the council because they said they would have a meeting the next day at 11 o'clock. And she thought that Commander Joseph had set up this meeting probably to announce that they're going to get married, right? He said he didn't call this meeting. He ain't got nothing to do with it. So she's like, what is this about then? Something wrong? Because you acted brand new. And he's like, I don't want to give you the wrong idea. You don't think that, well, you don't have no expectations of me and nothing like that, right? And she was like, no, yes you did, girl. Yes you did. I was like, well, you about to lock her ass up? Because they do have a place where pregnant handmaids can go. So what if it locks Serena ass up? Because she got nervous. I was nervous for her. I wouldn't say it, but I was nervous for her, right? When he said, I'm sorry, Serena. I was like, oh shit, maybe it's what I'm thinking. What is exactly about to happen? She walks into that dimly lit room to face the council. The Joseph's face gives no reassurance to her, right? Mackenzie said, you know what, we've been thinking about your future, girl. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about it, though, it's good news. We just need you to lend your expertise as we expand this nation. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? They about to make her an unofficial global ambassador. I was like, how are they going to make her a global ambassador? Women ain't got no voice, especially her. Well, that's because she's not staying there. They finna ship her ass back to Toronto, the place that she said she didn't want to stay, right? The place back, she ain't got no home. She's still a prisoner, supposedly. Okay? Anyway, I was like, how was they even considering that, considering that Tuello was supposed to have took his little happy ass home somewhere? Tuello's supposed to be gone, you okay? Commander Joseph tell her, look here, you an unusual woman. And this is no place for unusual women. Other words, you a troublemaker with too much power. Okay? So we're going to use that power to go recruit up in Toronto because we see how the people there love you. Okay? Serena stood strong. She didn't have tears in the eyes, but she stood strong and said, look here, I'm going to need a staff. I'm going to need a substantial budget and protection for me and my kid. Okay? And he's like, done and done because we want you to succeed. Baby, they called and told Tuello, hold that plane. Don't you leave without her. Okay? But when she shows up, he's like, what changed? You haven't changed your heart. Oh, y'all, this green? You thought dumb as a box of rocks, right? You up here trying to recruit Nick to help you spy for you to get into the fold. But you don't think this sudden change had anything to do with them folding Serena Joy into Toronto for your use, for their use? You an idiot. This is where Serena finna start playing on Tuello's feelings. Why she gonna start using her sexuality for that? She already kissed him on the cheek, and then he wanted that. He in love with her ass. Well, at the camp, June questions how it's possible to keep her baby safe while she's in Toronto and learns that Serena Joy is coming back to Toronto. Okay, so at least she knows Hannah Banana is not with Serena Joy. But I wonder if June is going to think that, Serena chose to do so. Maybe, I don't know. Serena arrives in Toronto and Tuello has his detail take her back to the detention center. I thought she was free. Y'all, this is why I'm saying this is not making sense to me. Her supporters are there surrounding her. And I was like, boy, the word travels fast. Y'all transporting this VIP person. Why everybody know? Why everybody know? June somehow makes it back to Toronto. Toronto and, like I said, Port Perry ain't that far from each other. Comes to the detention center. She blocks the car going down the road. Surprisingly, it's a road that's being worked on, so it's only one way in, one way out. She blocks the car. The driver sits there. What happened to the security detail that's supposed to be taking her back to the detention center? If the driver is part of the security detail, why is he not making any moves? The driver sits there. June comes up to the car window. Nobody saw her get out this car. She comes up to the car window and says, never touch my daughter again. The driver sits there. She bangs on the window. Never touch my daughter again. Keep your hands off my daughter. Something like that. The driver sits there. Serena Joy is yelling at him to drive. He sits there. Back the car up. He finally backs the car up. The peels off. This was so unfucking believable to me, y'all. Serena Joy not supposed to be this scared of June. June not supposed to have this type of influence. She was only humble for a little bit, which annoys me. Serena Joy only had her little moment of power for a little bit. That annoys me. I didn't like this episode. Let me get to work, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for being here. I just hit my elbow on my table. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video. Peace.